Okay, so Mortal Engines is based on the young adult book, and it's one of four. Now, this film is visually stunning. There's a lot of stuff going on. But the problem I found with it is you can tell this is a world where lots has already happened, and they don't really go into detail. So you find out that a while after the 60-minute war, which pretty much ravages the Earth, there are now people who live in non-tracked land where their cities are stationary, like what we have now. And other ones are tracked. That means London is effectively a giant mobile city that devours smaller cities. So picture a city. So here in the United States, picture, let's say New York was a little bit smaller, but was on wheels, and was eating other smaller mobile cities. So let's say New York ate the Bronx. That's kind of what you have going on, and it's a really unique concept. I love the fact that it's a futuristic steampunk, and they prize older pieces of technology. And they show the historians going through it, it's like, oh, you found this. Oh, this is a really great here. This is the best thing. This is better than what you have in the museum right now. And it's a Monday night from what we see. But the 60-minute war already happened. I'm assuming that's probably covered in one of the other books. And you drop right off into the middle of the story, where you've got an assassination attempt. Okay. And then it does kind of the paint by numbers, where it's two unlikely people thrown together. I mean, as you're watching the film, you can tell how it's going to unfold. Visually, it is absolutely stunning. When they show one of the smaller cities being devoured by the larger city, and it's using gigantic buzzsaws and chainsaws, and they're tearing things apart to just strip it down to its bare components and then feed it to the engine of what is that they're driving to give themselves all the power that they need to do things. They have a really interesting cyborg style character that they do a good backstory with, and I want to know a lot more about that character and all the stuff going on around it. And then the last half of the film is new character, new character, new character, new character, new character. It's like, I feel like there's more to these characters. And at a little over 2 hours, I kept on going, I feel like there's 5 minutes. There's 5 minutes sitting somewhere that ties everything together. So I started reading about the book that it's based off of. This appears to be a very faithful translation from the book to a live action film. And there's a lot of unique, interesting things that go on, but it's a lot of stuff is happening, but you're missing a lot of the context. You don't quite fully grasp exactly what's going on and the impact that it should be having. It feels like there's things that are just not fully developed. You can tell this is part one of a series, so things that probably aren't fully covered probably get covered and expanded upon later. It's a very good seed story. But when it's done, you kind of go, oh, okay. I liked it. I didn't love it. And I can tell why it had a hard time doing well in the box office, because as you try to describe it in the least amount of words possible, it's like, okay, the massive world war, okay. Some cities are mobile cities, okay. And the big cities get the smaller cities. Okay. That's the movie's about. It's about the bigger city. Well, no, not really. That's the backdrop of what's going on with the smaller subplot happening related to the giant cities. And when they talk about effectively our time, it's like, oh yeah, this is This is before the world became demolished, and you have the giant cities who are eating the smaller cities to try to gain as much resources as possible. But in being a mobile city, you actually burn through a lot of resources to acquire more resources. Instead of being the other cities where they're like, we're not. It's like we're trying to just grow what we need and try to sustain the area they're in. The other one's like, no. In order to maintain our way of life, we have to be engineered locusts and devour other, effectively, conglomerations of resources and material to sustain our way of life. There's a lot of really big, bold concepts you could really do a lot of work with. There's a lot of meta you could do with this. But it's not really explored. With a lot of good stuff, it just felt like there's just something missing. I think this film probably would have been beautiful to have seen in theaters. Really, really visually impressive. But we've got a lot of really visually impressive films that are out now. And it felt like this was just missing something to really, truly drive it home.